Hey guys, coming to you from the International 1210. There's the Scout. Talking FiTech today, FiTech problems. Oh y'all, another FiTech issue. Been working on it for a few days, and kind of before I like to put out a video and just start talking about a problem that I'm having with something, I really like to make sure to do my due diligence and make sure that I've troubleshot the issue, and really and truly I like to fix it and know what it is so that I can share that. I don't want to just come on here complaining about something that's not working and not have done my homework and tried to figure it out. So I started having issue with the FiTech in the 1210 International. If you've seen the other videos, you know, with the swap, the running, it's been great. And then suddenly I started having these issues like this. It would start off, yesterday it was running, and about the time it started to get warmed up, it just started stumbling and dying. Started again, run for a little bit, stumble and die, and the amount of time that it would run got shorter and shorter. Also saw some fault codes on my handheld unit, 105 and 74, and I think I saw 36. Now, if I remember right, I don't know if I have this in the right, everything lined up, but 105 is something to do with the O2 sensor. 74 is because of the fan control. I don't know what 36 is, I just noticed that today. But so I did notice that the fan control was turned on. I don't know why. I didn't turn it on. But I didn't turn it off either, so I don't know if when I reset this it turned it on. I haven't turned it off. So it even says on FiTech's site, if you have that enabled and you don't actually have a fan, that it can cause stumbling. So I thought, hey, maybe that's it. So I came out today and I disabled that, and didn't make any difference. Same thing, it ran for a couple minutes. About the time it got up to about 90 degrees or so, temperature wise on the coolant, started dying again. Something else that was going on too was the fuel pump was just crazy loud, just unbelievable. And so one of the first things I did was I checked the fuel filter, the pre-filter before the pump. Took it apart, cleaned it, it seemed fine. This thing, I don't have hardly any time on this. So like I never really even thought about the fuel filter between the FiTech unit and the fuel pump. So tonight I took it out and tried running, just with the filter out, tried to put cleaner through. I couldn't get anything to go through the filter. Took it apart, and lo and behold, it was plugged. Cleaned it, put it back in, truck's running fine. So I got it all cleaned up, put it back together, started right up, ran fine, haven't had any problems since. Fuel pump was almost silent. Dirty fuel filter. Don't overlook the little things. Also, I did want to note while we're talking about the fuel pump, in past video, I want to actually correct a couple things here that I've made, that I've mentioned in past videos. One being the pulse width modulation on the fuel pump. Remember in a previous video, I mentioned that you can adjust on the pulse width modulation on the fuel pump on the low flow to make your pump quieter, and it works. You see in that other video. What I failed to do correctly though is if you're adjusting this, you need to have a fuel pressure gauge, and you need to make sure that you maintain the proper fuel pressure. As if you take this down too low, then you don't have the right fuel pressure, you don't have the fuel atomization happen like it's supposed to because you don't have the pressure. So, and that was something else troubleshooting this last issue. I noticed in the Scout, when I had this in the Scout, I could adjust on this and it never made any difference. But when I was having this issue with it dying on me, I was messing with this, and I could see if I dropped it, it's made the engine just start running crappier. Probably because the fuel filter was so choked off, it was already struggling for the pressure it needed. So we'll come back and we'll visit this issue. With that filter cleaned out, the pump is actually pretty quiet. It got a little bit noisy right before I pulled in, put the truck away, but we'll get the proper fuel pressure gauge, and we'll kind of mess with this and see where we can take this. Is it okay to set it like I set it in that previous video? Or where does it need to be? But we'll make sure we'll do that proper. Don't just come in here willy-nilly and throw this setting down to make your fuel pump quiet, because you may screw something else up. The other thing is IAC. When you set the IAC, everything I said before was right. You want to aim for the value of somewhere between 3 and 10. Usually what I found is like I can get it gets on 0 and it kind of jumps back and forth from 0 to like 3, 0 to 3, 0 to 3. And I think that's okay too. I think I've even heard that in one of the FiTech Tech Tuesday videos, that it bouncing like that is okay. I think somewhere I've seen it, but mine seems to do fine like that. The main thing is you just don't want it to be on 0 pegged and like your idle high and stuff like that. But in the previous video, when I mentioned setting IAC, I showed setting IAC only using the front idle screw setting. Like in my unit, it actually has 2. It has a front one and a rear one. So when you set the IAC, same thing, you're going for the same target, but you have to make sure that you use both the front and the back idle setting screw, and you turn each one the same amount. So turn the front one quarter turn, turn the back one a quarter turn, till you start to get this dialed in. Make sure you move them together. I think that's about it for now. All right, thanks for watching.